Wait, are we going?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Dr. Visser.
Okay, so what do you think about everyone at the beginning?
Well, at the beginning you could tell that, Taylor was going to be a real goofy guy, but he's a real funny guy, and we got to become pretty good friends. And
when we first met, I thought there's a lot of difference between everybody. I really didn't see too much in common.
Ebony, I didn't know if she was going to be she was going to talk a lot or if she was going to be kind of quiet.
What?
Zeke kind of thought he was going to be the slacker, but he definitely pulled it.
I thought Logan, he kind of looked like he was going to be really shy and wasn't going to say much. He kind of looked like really serious.
Are you serious?
Amanda, she's exactly what I picture her to be. She's very sarcastic at times, but I think it's very funny.
Nobody asked you, Ebony.
Katie, she was like a sweetheart. I didn't think she would be talking too much and just always giggling. And
We're all going to be cool. I didn't really have any negative thoughts about anyone, so.
Angie definitely kept the group together and was cool. I don't think we could have done it without her. By far the best group leader.
At first I thought Angie was very quiet.
Zeke was a pretty cool guy. I kind of got to know him before he got into the group, so as he was the guy I kind of went to the most at first when I was a little bit awkward.
Logan, I thought he was just liked sports a lot, kind of chill guy. Turned out to be right.
I thought Zeke was going to be maybe the slacker of the group, but he's really not. We really didn't have any slackers. We all did our part.
Angie definitely knew she was a control freak from the start. So what do you think was the low point of our team?
The low point of the team, there wasn't really a major low point, I don't think. The only possible low point was right after we got the proposal done, possibly. So there's no real urgency to get anything done. But Angie really kept us on track.
I don't think we had one.
I don't really feel like we had a low point. If there was one, it was probably maybe just at the beginning, because we were becoming really good friends and we didn't really have a sense of urgency about getting everything together and getting things going, getting on the ball, and that's pretty much it. What do you think was the low point of our team?
I don't really think we had a low point. If we did, I didn't know about it.
I would have to say we actually enjoyed each other's company too much as to where when we met, we would talk and play, and then around the last minute we were like, okay guys, let's get this done. And then we wouldn't have room to correct things that were needed, or if we forgot something, we wouldn't have time to do that.
One of that I feel would be when Mr. Sikorsky, he passed away. We really didn't get to know him, but it still was kind of sad when we volunteered over there a couple times. It was pretty scary because he was definitely really sick, and trying to talk to him, any communication was very limited. And his wife, you could tell, and everybody was coming to see him, and it's just his final stages of life. And you got to really see that happen firsthand. It was pretty sad.
So what was your favorite part about this project?
Obviously, I like that we had a good organization that we helped with, and I feel like we made a difference. But I think my favorite part was just having 6 new friends and really good friends.
Hanging out with the patients by far was my favorite part of it, and the group was fun as well, but patients were my favorite.
I felt like we connected in a way that we all didn't expect to connect, as far as friendship, and you have that friendship in a group, you can kind of trust your partners a little bit more. So it gave us that, okay, I'm gonna trust such and such, so they're gonna get the job done and I don't have to worry about it.
I loved when we would just all be at the Pi-Fi house working on things. I thought that was so much fun.
I feel like our high point was at the memorial service, because by that time we were all really good friends with each other. We knew each other really well. We knew our strengths and weaknesses, and basically we got to see each other working hard all together towards the same thing. And because most of the time we had kind of worked separately and then reconvened for our meetings and a few specific things, but the memorial service was the first time that we really worked hard all together on something other than organizing a meeting or something, or writing a memo or writing a paper. And I felt like that really, we didn't have much storming before that, but that really brought us even closer together than we were before to work with each other. And it's kind of sad that we didn't have much time after that, but you know, we're all still good friends and everything, and we're going to continue hanging out.
So when do you think the 206ers really came together?
I think we came together our first meeting at Blue Baker. The ice was just broken really quickly, and I think we all figured out that this is a pretty chill group of people. Everybody has a sense of humor. No one really takes themselves too seriously, and you can just sort of like speak your mind, and no one's gonna care. And like I came away from it thinking, okay, like we're gonna have a good group, and this is gonna be good, and we're gonna get a lot of stuff done, and like when Taylor said like in a few months we're all gonna be really good friends, like I think that was foreshadowing how this was gonna go, and it went really well.
So do you think we had more of a team or a single leader discipline?
To a certain extent, I'd say we had more of a single leader discipline because Angie kind of took over at the beginning and kind of showed us or got us headed on the right track and kind of distributed work a little bit. But as we moved on, we moved toward more of a team discipline, and we all more so counted on each other and took responsibility for the work on our own a little bit.
One of the key things I think we learned about this year was keeping your word versus honoring your word. And I mean, they both tie into each other, but you can honor your word without keeping it. This semester, we all had to sign sheets, like statements of obligation, like sign it and hand it in to Professor Visser. Well, I forgot. And so it was several weeks before it ever came up again. Oh my goodness, like this could really be a big problem for my team. I had to clean up the mess so my team didn't get in trouble for my mistake. So I went to talk to Professor Visser, and he said that he needed something from us to show that we could rebuild the trust in our team. So first of all, I turned in my statement of obligation. Took care of that. And then we wrote a memo stating how we were going to remedy situations like this by checking in with each other and doing evaluations from time to time. And I think we really handled it well. So long story short, I didn't keep my word by initially handing in my statement of obligation, but I honored it by fixing things with my team and admitting that I messed up and cleaning up the mess.
So Katie, what is cognitive dissonance?
Basically, it's where if you do something that you know is wrong, you kind of try and tell yourself that it's okay and make up like a bunch of excuses to reduce the dissonance. And we were trying to think about an instance when that happened in our group, and really the only thing we could think of is when Ebony first showed up to our very first meeting of the year. Actually, she came late, and instead of trying to say, oh, I was doing this, or oh, I got in a wreck or had a tire, she just said, guys, I'm sorry I'm late, and bought everybody cookies and said it won't happen again, and then that was the end of it. So we didn't really have any major struggles with that per se, but that was just one instance.
Kiddos for paradigms were justice versus mercy, short-term versus long-term, individual versus community, and truth versus loyalty. And I think the one that applied most to our group was individual versus community. And at the beginning, Andrea told us that this wasn't just our project, we had to care about the people that we were gonna help. And I think that really we all made sure that we cared about what we were doing, and we're just looking for hours, because I think that if we would have and we would have just been, oh, we have to get this many hours, or we have to do this to make sure our project is done, we wouldn't have gotten to learn a lot about everyone, and we wouldn't have gotten to meet so many good people, and we would have had a lot of problems in our group. I think that in our situation, community was our best choice.
So Holly Weeks of Harvard Business School published an article about apologies, and she said that an apology done right can actually help a relationship more than hurt it, but an apology done wrong can hurt a relationship. And so I think a good example of that in our group was when Ebony showed up late the first day. And the reason I always think of that is because it was the first real conflict or potential conflict that her team had. But because she had a good apology, it ended up becoming a big issue. So basically, she showed up. Everyone knew she was late. She knew she was late. It was obvious. And she apologized immediately. She owned up to what she did. And one of the things that Holly Weeks
says in her article is that you don't apologize for the wrong thing. So Ebony could have said, I'm sorry that something else got in the way. I'm sorry I'm busy. I'm sorry I have other things to do. She didn't say that. She just said, I'm sorry that I was late, guys. And then on top of that, she cleaned up her mess. She owned up to it. She bought us cookies. Just as kind of a peace offering, and just kind of a, we knew it was genuine from her heart, because she was genuinely sorry enough that she showed it with her actions. And we thought that was really powerful. Another thing Holly Week said is, don't think of it as an expression of regret. And Ebony clearly didn't do that. She wasn't just, telling us that she regretted being late. She was genuinely sorry for what she did, and she wanted to make things right. And so she was more concerned with her relationship and the rest of the team than letting us know that she felt bad about what she did.
And I hope he has a good time in Holland.
I hope he has a good time in Holland.
I hope he has a good time in Holland.
Hope he does well as he goes back to Holland.
Good luck, Dr. Visser.
Hope he has a real good time in Holland, and his new job kicks ass.
Get him in Holland.